sign language interpreter tonight. Let's begin our broadcast with that news that is out of Russia. And the Russian manufactured Sputnik 5 COVID-19 vaccine has finally been approved for emergency use right here in the country. But in an interesting development, the Ministry of Health declined to disclose who the local importers of the Russian jab were, with concerns raised about how it was being distributed and, of course, marketed within the country. Rita Tinina opens our broadcast tonight.
We have reports about the arrival of the Russian Sputnik 5 vaccines in the country.
The vague Ministry of Health statement 6 days ago. But just a day after prominent city lawyers Donald Kipkorir and Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi received the Russian Sputnik V vaccine, the ministry changed tune.
It is indeed true that it has received emergency use authorization by our Pharmacy Poisons Board. In fact, it has received emergency use authorization from 65 countries and is in use in these countries already.
But even with that admission, the government won't disclose who imported the drug.
We do have a licensed distributor who brought in this vaccine into the country, and the mechanisms in terms of bringing it in were followed.
The Sputnik V vaccine is yet to receive market authorization, meaning it cannot be marketed. And the distributor is already getting into trouble on that one.
They have already summoned the distributors of this particular vaccine, and they have actually given them a warning in writing. And if that kind of marketing continues, they'll be in contravention of the Pharmacy Board rules, and therefore that vaccine, the emergency use authorization can be withdrawn.
The authorization for emergency use of the Russian vaccine, the government says, is part of the collaboration with the private sector in efforts to meet its vaccine target of at least 60% of the Kenyan population.
We've recommended that those that have submitted dossier to WHO, like the Sputnik had, and it is still undergoing reviews, can be allowed to bring in the vaccine.
Vaccines deployed in the country require regulatory approval from various international bodies.
One of them is the World Health Organization, the US FDA, the Swissmedic, the British MHSA, and I think there's the EMA, European Medicines Agency.
Vaccines by the private sector will be deployed through the Chanjo KE system and will, among other things, be required to declare batch numbers to the Pharmacy and Poisons Board before the drugs are imported and have a local registration with the PPB.
If a facility is dealing with private sector vaccines, it will not be issued with the free public health sector vaccines. So there will be no dual because there will be a conflict there. So you will choose either you support government efforts to give the no-cost vaccine, or you go into the business.
The ministry will monitor any emerging concerns or adverse events after immunization and be able to take corrective action when these measures are identified.
The Ministry of Health, Pharmacy and Poisons Board and the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council is working on a list of distributors of the Sputnik V vaccine, the first COVID-19 vaccine to be brought into the country by a private distributor. With questions and uncertainties over the drug, the government will remain on the spot as it works on a regulatory framework to govern private COVID-19 vaccine distributors. Rita Tinina, KTN News.